Welcome to day 3 of the Higgins Keto blog. Okay, here's what we got going on today. We actually spent a lot of time discussing what it is that we were going to discuss on this particular one. And we went back and forth a few times. Shauna specifically said...
What did I specifically say?
You specifically said that you wanted to talk about net carbs versus total carbs, but I brought up the fact that she actually designed some really nice sheets that we actually track all this stuff on.
I go into teacher mode.
Yes.
For those of you who know me, I literally instantly, the camera comes on, I go into teacher mode.
Absolutely.
So in the classroom, as I walk around, this is pretty much what happens.
But anyway, she designed some
My
fantastic sheets.
Yes.
Well, whatever they are. You designed them. All right. And she's going to show you those, and then we're going to go into the differences between net carbs and total carbs, because we actually discussed that a lot today. So
at great length.
Go ahead and start with the sheets, and then we'll go from there.
Well, just so that everybody is aware, because again, I go into the teacher mode. I literally have a list, can't really see it, but a list of items that I would like to talk about. And then, yes, I always take notes. I did complete my PhD in education.
Yes, you did.
All that aside, again, let's start with the disclaimer. We are simply just a married couple. We are literally just sharing with the world our journey with the ketogenic diet. And as we fumble along through life and things that happen during this experience, we definitely want to share that with you.
And we do fumble.
A lot. But with that being said, this is why we decided, stop shaking the table.
I can't help it. I'm jumpy and excited and, that kind of thing.
But anyways, yes, very much male, thankfully. But all that aside, we just want to make sure that we're putting out there, we're not experts. We do a lot of research between the both of us. And the jobs that we do,
right.
The experiences that we have, education and research is our passion.
It's how we live our lives. Matter of fact, if we could film the discussions that we have, and because we don't always agree. I know married couples always agree, right? But we don't always agree, and we will sit there and discuss back and forth, and I'll research something, and she'll research something, and we'll go back and forth on that to find out, okay, I found this, you found this, and that type of thing, and then we come to a semblance of continuity through it all. So.
Or one of those, I'm right, you're wrong, but I still love you type of thing.
Right, and I'm always saying, you know what, I'm right, you're wrong, but I still love you.
And my mantra is, it's a good thing I love my husband. It's a good thing I love my husband. Because I love my husband.
I'm very lovable.
Yes, he's very lovable. Either way, so a sheet that I developed, and again, this is just what it is that we do.
Right.
It's nothing is definitive, but I will tell you that if anyone is interested in the items that we utilize, I know some of you are saying that you are watching the videos, and we see that. We see the number of views, and I think we kind of realize that not everybody can like the video blog because you have to develop a YouTube account.
And it's free, by the way. So
yes,
if the only reason why you're not commenting or liking or whatever is because you don't have one, just sign up for one. It's free. I think the only... actually, the email we use for it's not even a Gmail email, so you can use any email. Just sign up for the YouTube thing, and then you can start liking, commenting, and even talk back and forth with us on the comments.
Right. So where I was going with this comment is that if there's anything that you see that we use that you would like to have a copy of, comment, send me a private message on Facebook, my husband, we will send it to you. I mean, our whole aspect of doing this literally is to share.
Well, not only to share, but the more we share with you and the more we do this, the more we're held accountable to what we're sharing with you, and it keeps us on track. So it's kind of a,
Yeah. See, and my whole thing is I'm all about accountability.
Right.
So, and anyways, we want to make ourselves accountable publicly, and if we can help others do the same, then all the better. Anyway, the form that I made is just a very basic table. I don't know if you can see this, and I'm sure everything is going to look a little backwards. But essentially what I have things broken down into breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And within those columns of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I have different columns to where you can get your fat, your protein, your carbs, calories, and then a little section where you can add notes. And then at the top, because, I'm the one who actually does the writing for my husband, name and macros, because if you utilize the keto calculator, your macros, his macros are not the same as my macros, right. And our macros are not going to be the same as yours. So anyways, this is just a way that you can keep an accounting. Now, myfitnesspal.com, that is an awesome app to use.
Matter of fact, I'm going to add this in. When you're looking up what everything has, if she looked up hamburger, okay, it actually gave multiple listings. She could actually pick the hamburger and the type and the brand that we got from the store we got it from.
Yes.
So
MyFitnessPal is an awesome app to put on your phone, or if you want to use it on your laptop, then it's myfitnesspal.com, to where you can figure out your macros by putting in, within your profile, your specific goals so that you can keep track. I'm a very kinesthetic individual. I'm extremely visual. So I have the app. I have the website tagged to my laptop, but I also write. So I write things and then I go into the app. It's very redundant, but it works for me. So if anyone...
redundant.
From the person who doesn't write his own information.
I'm just saying, if you write it down one place, then just copy it. Wouldn't you still have
again
copies?
From the person who doesn't even write his own information? I do it.
I don't know why you keep
and it takes me forever because you don't write it down. I write it down for you. Jeez. But anyways, that's what I use. I am more than happy to share if there are other individuals out there that prefer to write their items down. But anyways. So all that aside, I will say this. My husband did make me a list.
Thank you for offering that up there. Appreciate that.
Yes, because, he is sweet. This is our little go-to sheet because I do like to write things in where the foods that we consistently have been eating, and the list is growing as we continue to do research in terms of what foods to eat, recipes that we're trying. Mm-hmm. What I would love to do at one point in time is to actually, because my husband, I cook, but he really is the cook. I mean, this is the person that tells me that I'm boiling water incorrectly for pasta. So I let him do all the cooking because, he's the expert.
It takes exactly 10 minutes to get them.
Don't get him started. We're not talking about pasta because we are low carbs.
Right.
But anyways, it's nice to have a list of appropriate food items that you can choose from. So again, as we're compiling that list, if anyone would like that list,
and
even though you can find it online.
And the reason why I made this list is not just to have a list of the food items, because you can get a list of food items anywhere. Mm-hmm. We actually based it by serving the actual number of fats, the number of proteins, the number of carbs, the number of calories, already broken down for us. So when we make that meal and we have a serving each,
right.
all we have to do is transfer those numbers from these sheets that I already made up over to the sheets that she made up in order to track it all.
Yes, I am a worksheet gal. Being a nurse and then overseeing a nursing program, I am a worksheet gal. So.
I am a math and physics guy. So what I like to do is I really could care less about the writing things down thing. Technicians have a real big problem with writing crap down. But what we do like to have is standard numbers to throw into equations.
Yes.
And so I standardize the numbers to throw into her equations.
Right. He's a numbers guy. Plain and simple, he's a numbers guy, which I'm okay with that. So those are the worksheets. Again, I am more than happy to share with anyone in that aspect. So the other thing that, and during my research regarding this whole aspect of ketogenic dieting, you will hear and you will see, especially if you begin looking at the food labels. And I hesitate to say that only because the food labels aren't always consistent, which can be an issue. So when you hear someone talking about carbs, especially for those of you that are utilizing the online keto calculators, they automatically utilize net carbs. They don't always use total carbs. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, what is the difference between a total carb and a net carb? Well, total carbs is specifically that, the entire amount of carbohydrates that are
including fiber
in the food. Absolutely. Net carbs are the carbs minus fiber. And you can get a little picky and also include the sugar alcohols.
Which this is why we say it's inconsistent, because some of the labels include the sugar alcohols and some of them don't include the sugar alcohols. So it gets kind of...
It can be a little confusing. So with that being said, what I made a little cheat sheet, okay, talking about what total net carbs are versus total carbs. Total net carbs means the total number of carbs without the fiber being included. And I only put fiber on here because there are some labels that don't even talk about the sugar alcohols. But if you include the sugar alcohols, then you would subtract, which is what I have on the other side because I'm a formula gal. When you're trying to figure out net carbs, essentially you take the total number of carbs, you subtract the dietary fiber, and that gives to you net carbs. If you're concerned about the sugar alcohols, then the formula works this way. You take the total number of carbs, you subtract the dietary fiber, and then you subtract half of the total grams of the sugar alcohols.
By the way,
unless it's erythritol.
Right, unless it's erythritol. Here's the issue. Reason why we're sharing this with you is because it took hours of research to find all this stuff. We just happen to be people who love research. So we're giving this to you saying, hey, if you don't want to research it, great, we'll give you what we found. But once again, we're not experts. We're not professionals. We're just a couple going through this whole mess just like you people. You know, we're just messing with it ourselves, trying to figure it all out in order to try to figure out, okay, here's our goal. How do we get there based on this type of a meal plan? And what's right, what's wrong? You know?
And all of the woes. Like, for example, my poor husband is going through such carb withdrawal. Did you see that? Did you see that? That's what I have to deal with. He is going through such carb withdrawal that it's not even funny. I would have thought that I would have been going through withdrawal, but surprisingly no. If anything, like for example this evening, I still have, well anyways, to get my protein, my carbs, my fat, and calories, I will need to have scrambled egg whites, but I get to have another cup of coffee.
And I'm suffering because all I get to have is 4 strips of bacon and a cup of tea with honey.
So I say that because I'm going to struggle eating the egg whites. He's going to wolf down his bacon strips and lick the plate probably.
I guarantee it.
So as a result, my hungry husband, who was quite hangry, I had to make adjustments to the amount that he was actually taking in. So that's something else too. When you're utilizing the keto calculator that is online, go moderate at first.
Yeah.
I mean, it will ask you what type of a deficit that you want. We initially started off with a 20% deficit in terms of, calorie decrease, because we indicated that we wanted to lose fat.
Right. The only issue I saw with that particular item is the fact that when you look at how these things are set up, and you have to, obviously you got to try it. Start somewhere and then move from there based on what you're finding out about how you're reacting to it. But it's the fact that some of the definitions they have for activity levels are not real clear.
Right.
So it's like you're sitting here going, well, I feel like I'm really active, but then according to that, whatever the description they have, they're like, well, that's moderately or that's low or what. But you're
light
sitting,
is the word that they use.
Light. Okay.
Yes.
But it's the whole thing of you have to figure out, because when I looked at what I'm doing, well, crying out loud, I'm constantly moving all day long. In just the past week, because we just moved in, I put together shelves and bookcases and did it and moved boxes around, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, so I'm working out a ton, okay, and yet my original macros were based on sedentary, basically. So I brought it up.
Because he was in carb withdrawal.
I was hungry. It wasn't necessarily even just carbs. Yes, I'm having carb pangs. Okay, I admit that fully. But the thing is, I was getting hungry.
No, it was so bad. Taylor, for her birthday, the ice cream cake, he gave the kids a sliver that was less than this because he couldn't have any ice cream cake.
I was being frugal with the cake.
He wasn't being frugal. He was pissed he couldn't have it.
I don't know what you're talking about. That is the furthest thing from the truth.
Okay. Whatever you say, baby. Whatever. So anyway, yes. I left my husband.
All right, anyway.
So again, just, if there is any information that we utilize that you would like for us to share with you, definitely let us know, and I'll be happy to send that to you. So that's no problem there. One of the things that we did do today, well, actually, these came through the mail today.
Ketone strips. I'll put them up there. See.
Yes.
Ketone test strips.
So the whole purpose of the ketone test strips, you literally want to take that out.
Yeah, okay, this is a little gross, but you take the strip out and then you pee.
On the strip.
On the strip. So while you're peeing, you take the strip and stick there's a little...
Take the strip out.
Okay. Take a strip out. Okay. And then there's this little, I don't know if you can, how well you can see there. At the end, well, you can't see it real well. There's a little yellowish tab on the end, which is actually going to change color. And you just slip that into the urine stream and then pull it right back out.
It has an absorbent end.
Right. And it will change colors. And then on the back, you have the color code thing that you hold it up next to in order to tell exactly what your ketone level is. If it's in the 40s, it's considered negative. You're not in ketogenesis. And then it has large, well, everything from trace to large.
It has a certain measurement that is on there, but essentially, again, doing your own research online, you will see that a majority of the keto sticks is what they really refer to them as. They will talk about trace, they will talk about light, they will talk about moderate or large. Now, for example, for me, when I peed on the stick, it showed that I was moderate.
Whereas it showed me as the first level of large. So.
And we say that because yes, there is this difference in what the keto stick demonstrated between the two of us, but it doesn't mean anything in terms of, oh my gosh, you know, I'm moderate. Should I have large numbers of ketones in my urine? Well, you know, for the sake, again, the whole nurse coming in, out, I should say, for the sake of doing the ketogenic diet, having large numbers of ketones in your urine, okay, that's good. But, you know, as a nurse, I keep thinking of all of the other aspects of having large amounts of ketone in your urine, and that kind of freaks me out a little bit. So if you're moderate, don't think that you have to do something to, and that's only if you use this. You do not have to use these sticks. My husband saw it on Amazon Prime, his favorite thing, so he went ahead and he ordered those.
Because I was interested because it talked about at what point you go into ketogenesis.
Yes.
And I was like, well, we're already losing weight, so maybe we're already there. So I ordered these because it was $12 for 100 strips. So, I mean, we'll be able to test ourselves throughout this entire process.
Right.
You know, and basically it let us know literally day 3, and yes, we are in full keto mode.
Absolutely. So with that being said, you know, you do not have to use this. If you do decide that you want to use the keto sticks, don't be concerned if you're moderate and that you don't have a large amount of ketones. It still means that you are burning fat.
Right.
Plain and simple. You're still burning fat, so don't worry about that. That essentially is the biggest piece as to what we want you to take away from that. The other aspect, again, as to what I was talking about, my husband, the chef, we will have to have a show where, a blog.
Where I'm cooking.
Yes, because I have a recipe. So far, knock on wood, you know, I've not had the horrible cravings that my husband is having when it comes to carbs. Right. I will say that I am dealing with tons of headaches, which initially my interest in doing the ketogenic diet was mainly because I have horrible migraines, and the fact that I've had headaches, it's either because I am not drinking near enough water, which I do struggle with, plain and simple, or the fact that I have cut back so much on the amount of coffee that I drank initially. I love coffee. It's like
saying she's cut back on coffee is like saying that the Exxon Valdez spilled a drop of oil.
I love coffee. So I've only had 1 cup of coffee until yesterday when I, scaled back at lunch so that I could have another cup of bulletproof coffee. Tonight, because I didn't use butter on 2 meals, I will be able to have a cup of black coffee with 2 tablespoons of whipping cream and 2 packs of stevia. And that just makes me so happy. You have no idea how happy that makes me. But, with that being said, the whole aspect of my husband having the cravings for the carbs, we really are interested in looking for different recipes. Right. And the one recipe that we are going to try, we will let you know how this turns out. It's called cloud bread.
Yeah, it seems really interesting.
So I don't know if I can show this picture, but the cloud bread looks like little biscuits. And apparently when you make this cloud bread, well, let me just tell you, a serving size would be 2 halves in case you wanted to make a sandwich or some sort. But in those 2 halves, it has 43.2 calories, 2.8 grams of fat, 0.3 grams of carbs, and then 3.7 grams of protein. So we're talking about a bread that is essentially carbless, okay? Right. So that makes me happy. So I'm really excited to try this bread. That if you begin looking for recipes, that will be one of the things that you'll see, this cloud bread. And they refer to it as carb-free cloud bread. But when you make the bread, which is why I'm hoping that we can actually film my husband making it, it starts off very crispy. And it's not until apparently you put it in an airtight container that it then takes on a chewy consistency like bread that you can use to make a sandwich.
Which I'm very interested in finding out how this works, because it almost looks to me, if the picture's anything, and I'm looking at the recipe, it almost looks to me like it would come out almost like an English muffin.
Oh, see, I was thinking that it would come out like a meringue.
Well, no, because there's not enough egg white for that. So
but it uses cream of tartar.
Right.
And you can either use
use
cottage
the whole
cheese
egg,
or
though.
cream
Even though you
cheese.
separate the egg, you're
Well,
using
you
both
have
the
to
yolk
separate
and and the white, and you're adding in the cream cheese or the cottage cheese. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to come out more like a thicker.
This says, while warm, they are crumbly and similar to cooked meringue, but don't let this fool you. Anyways, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I will man the camera while my husband is cooking. So we shall see. But I think that's essentially it. Those were the key points for this evening. Yeah. I mean, it's so funny because my husband and I, we absolutely love to research. So we will spend hours on researching, and then it takes us less than 15, 20 minutes to talk about what it is that we researched.
So, but if you want to get a bottom line out of tonight, all right, this is where we've got so far. These are some of the things we've found, and these are some of the tools that you can use. But the biggest thing is this can be really time consuming, like it is for us. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Use us as your whatever you want, I mean, and just say, okay, boom, 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 I can do this. And obviously write the things down as you eat them. And you can do it throughout the day, and it's not time consuming. But like we found out, if you wait till the end of the day to write everything down, you can be literally sitting there for half an hour, 45 minutes, sitting here trying to work all the numbers and work everything out. So
when it's just as easy to fill it out as you go, the important thing is maintaining accountability.
Right.
And I can't say that enough. It's the same thing that I say to my nursing students. We have to be accountable for what it is that we do.
Right.
And this is how my husband and we are going to maintain accountability, because we're telling everyone publicly what it is that we're doing. And because we love to teach and we love to share, we're hoping that we'll have, individuals that will benefit from what it is that we've done.
Right. But don't take our word for it. I'm going to throw in the same thing and a lot of other things do. Talk to your doctor before starting any new weight loss or diet program. Okay, we are not professionals.
Right.
Okay, we do not have degrees in this particular stuff.
Right.
Okay,
absolutely.
So listen, this is just our journey. Use what you can, study it, research it, and figure it out for yourself. And
absolutely.
We'll help. We'll be there we've already had people ask us questions, and we're getting ready to answer them. So
yeah, and that's the other thing too. So if majority of you do know us either through Facebook or through whatever other means of social media, reach out to us. Send us questions. That kind of helps us in terms of, oh my gosh, I didn't think about that, or well, we thought about that, but we didn't think anyone else would be interested in that.
Right.
So that type of thing, that would be great. And if nothing else, as you learn, we can definitely be that source of entertainment, especially Mr. Higgins.
Yeah, I'm the straight man. She's got to be so funny all the time. I don't understand, but
I go into teacher mode, and when I go into teacher mode, I become a little more serious.
I go into teacher mode too, but my students have fun.
I deal with life and death situations. You deal with situations as to whether or not it's cool or warm.
I love you, baby.
It peeves him when I do that. Really, what he does is extremely important. So
yeah, well, Listen, guys, just do your best and be yourselves.
Right.
And do what's, you know what, you guys have to make the decision for yourselves what you do, okay? But just have fun with this. Don't get too serious.
Right.
Because if you can't have fun, you shouldn't be doing it.
Absolutely.
So
all right.
have a great day.
Good night.
Night.